Okay, it is right on time. Okay, let's get everything started. Hey everyone, welcome to this workshop. This is gonna be our last workshop for our hackathon with Say. If you watch previous workshop, then you should be familiar with me. I'm Dafu DFU. I'm the partner at One Piece Labs. So our hackathon is pretty much at the corner. So which is September 8th, gonna be the first day, and it will end on September 10th, which is a Sunday. So 48 hours, and you're gonna do something amazing on Say. So we are very looking forward to it. So today for this workshop, I would say this is one of the most important ones because we're gonna talk about how to deploy on Say. And all the hackers, if you miss this workshop, don't worry about it. We're gonna send you the workshop recordings, and you will receive it by email. And we're gonna upload it into all our landing pages, including Notion, Eventbrite, and Luma. So without further ado, today we have Alvin and Sison here. So Alvin is the ecosystem lead at Say, and Sison the engineer lead at Say. So today's workshop definitely gonna be amazing and a lot of content. Cool. So without further ado, let's get everything started. Let me stop the screen share. You guys can share your screen right now. Let me hand over the stage to Alvin first.
Just hold on. Trying to share the screen now. Actually, Sison, can you share your screen? Because I don't think I can share mine.
Yeah, I can do that. Give me a sec. I may need to restart my Zoom. Yeah, I need to rejoin.
Cool. I'll wait for you. I'll give a quick intro first. Hey everyone, really nice to meet all of you. Yeah, having some issues with sharing my screen due to privacy issues. So my colleagues here, Sison, will help me. But basically, I'm based in Singapore. I lead the ecosystem growth team at Say. So essentially what we do is we want to onboard as many projects onto Say, right? And we're here to help like build the infrastructure, build the connections, help the projects to get started and be successful in launching on Say itself. The guy you saw, Sison, so he's one of our lead developers in our team. And yep, he'll be talking a lot more about, how do you build smart contracts, how do you get started in deploying your projects itself. So very quick one on Say, I think we have him back soon. But essentially, we launched our mainnet last week, which is very exciting. I'll talk about some of the ecosystem projects that are in place and some of the ones that are upcoming, right? So at Say, we have one core thesis. Sison, if you go to the next slide. Yep, our one core thesis, which we are very focused on, is that the fundamental use case of blockchains is the ability to exchange digital assets, right? Or in simpler terms, trading is actually the greatest use case, right, in crypto. When you look at the different kinds of dApps on it, so obviously when you think about trading, right, you think about DeFi itself, right? You have perps trading, spot swaps, and so on. And all these are critical for crypto. But it's not just DeFi itself, right? If you think about games like Axie Infinity, you think about STEPN, right, where people were trading the shoes, you really start to realize that many of these, like even social or GameFi apps, a huge component of their Web3 part is actually in trading of the digital assets itself, right? In fact, most games, in fact, Web2 game studios, when you want to come onto Web3, a lot of the gaming stuff is actually off-chain, right? But the one thing that is on-chain is the trading of digital assets itself. So we do think the trading part is super critical. And if we go to the next slide, Sison, right, that is exactly what we want to do. The Say vision is to become that super highway for trading activity. We are here building the best infrastructure for all kinds of trading or crypto itself. So, when you think about like Steam or Amazon or NASDAQ and so on, we do want to be that super highway for crypto, right? And how do we do this, right? If you go to the next slide, essentially speed is one of them, right? Today, Say is the fastest layer 1 blockchain out there. We launched last week and we have been maintaining a very stable time to finality and block times as well. So it's averaging around like 380 to 400 milliseconds And with that, we are actually the fastest. I think there's only like a very, very handful of blockchains that are below 1 second. We can reach 20,000 transactions per second. So the throughput is really, really high, relative to other blockchains, and we have a lot more capacity to go. We are 2 times, faster than Aptos, 10 times faster than, Solana and Sui. So we are very, very confident of the speed, which is essential to actually many kinds of different tradings. Now, how do we do this, right? We do it through what we call a twin turbo consensus. Here we're starting to get a little bit into some of the concepts, but Sison will probably cover the rest of the details later. So there are 2 parts to this twin turbo consensus that makes the throughput really high and the speed really fast and safe, right? First is what we call the intelligent block propagation. So you will realize that we have actually customized a very large part of our tech stack to make it fast and make it very, very user-friendly for trading. And intelligent block propagation, simply put, right, is that we are having, during the block propagation process between validators, right, the block proposals are sent with only a digest of the transactions rather than the full transaction details. And then the recipients of these block proposals then actually collect the rest of the information from the mempools itself, right, where most of the details are there anyways. So because the transaction details that are being sent is only a digest, this allows much faster response times, or rather sending times, right? It increases the overall scalability of SAY by 40%. This is one way. If you go to the next slide, right, the second part of twin turbo consensus is what we call optimistic block processing. So in the past, if you look at this chart itself, right, the process is usually sequential from propose to pre-vote to pre-commit, and then block processing before finally committing. And what we've done is to kind of shortcut the process a little, where we start processing the block even before it's kind of voted and committed on, right? So optimistically thinking that this will actually get passed, right? And in this case, by processing it in this way, almost like a parallel processing in a way, we actually enable faster response times for users again. And this increases the overall scalability by about 43%. So these 2 things put together actually increases our speed, right? So you can see here the twin turbo consensus actually reduces our time to finality by about to about 400 milliseconds today. There are other technical advantages in making sure that we're building the best infra for trading here. So one is parallelization. We actually introduced a parallel processing module, right? And this enables projects to actually execute a very, very high throughput per second. We have frequent batch auctioning, right? And what it does is that, we would actually batch a few swaps or trading transactions and kind of execute them at a uniform price. This is really useful because, especially in EVM chains, right, you do see a lot of negative MEV, right, where user executes a trade, but people are actually kind of taking advantage of it and front running it. So we do want to protect users because being the best trading L1 doesn't mean that you are being just the fastest, right? When you think about the best exchanges out there, whether it's Robinhood, Nasdaq, the different kinds of stock exchanges, there is a huge part being put into user protection, and this is one dimension that we are actually covering. We also introduced a native order book matching engine, and this enables deeper liquidity. What it does is, there is a DEX module where order book DEXs can actually all connect to it, right, and use a common order book. Now, what this means is then you can have multiple DEXs, right, and rather than fragmenting the liquidity, they're all kind of using the same order book matching engine, right? And when we have deeper liquidity, this also means lower slippage and, again, faster transactions for users. And then finally, we introduced native price oracles. This is quite innovative, where basically the validators themselves, right, they are not just validating transactions, but they are providing kind of validated price feeds. So this allows us to introduce, a trustless, decentralized price feed that is very native to the SAY ecosystem. Now, when you combine all these things, right, essentially what we've done is we are on the way to building the best L1 for trading because we take care of, deeper liquidity, trustless price oracles, speed, as well as, user protection. And this means that we are creating a very holistic approach to being the best L1 for trading. Now, launch was actually last week. So we launched about 1 to 2 weeks ago. And you can see here that over 200 projects have actually committed, right? So when we launched mainnet, there were about 10 projects that went live. We were one of the very few L1s that launched with 2 games actually that were live. One was kind of an action RPG game where you're jumping around space. The other one is more like an Axie Infinity, like pet card games and so on. And some of this, I think one of the games actually achieved like over 100,000 transactions just in the first week itself. So there is a very active community that's being brought into Sei through these dApps. We've got a few DEXs, we've got a perps trading, we've got a few NFT marketplaces coming up. So, we're very excited on the prospects of Sei itself. These 200 plus projects, they'll take some time to kind of come through. But in the next 1 month, we easily see, at least 10 to 30 different projects that are all lined up to launch. You can see here as well, so 305 million transactions have been on mainnet to date, right? And 385,000 users on mainnet. So we started the mainnet launch with an airdrop, right? And then with the airdrop as well, there were also other dApps that were kind of bringing their users in. So 385,000 users, right, in the first few weeks, I think is pretty optimistic, and we are basically building on that momentum to get us further. Yep. The last thing I'll mention is our team, right? Although it's a lean team, it's a high quality team that has been through the trenches and have experience in various big tech companies. Our co-founder and CTO Jay is actually from Robinhood himself. Right, he was an engineering manager there, and he's very, very, very familiar with what it means and what it takes to actually build like one of the best exchanges out in the world. And we're not comparing, it's a good thing that Jay is in here, because we're not just comparing benchmarking standards to trading that is on crypto or in decentralized worlds. We are actually talking about benchmarking trading to what we're familiar with in stock exchanges and so on, which is super fast, right, and super convenient today. And the other co-founder, Jeff, is actually from Goldman Sachs, so a veteran in financing and DeFi. So the two of them actually marries the both in terms of tech and finance. But the rest of the team here, you can see the likes of Airbnb, Nvidia, Meta, and I myself, I'm actually from LinkedIn. All right, have been kind of helping them to scale their products and sell it right over the last 9-10 years or so. So, yep, I think just a assurance here that the credibility of the team is pretty high, and we are very familiar with scaling products out there, and we'll make sure that Sei actually reaches a similar scale out there. Yep. With this, I'll hand it over to Sison to talk about the tech stuff.
Great, thanks, Alvin. In this section, I will do a quick demo on how to deploy a simple smart contract to the Sei, and we will build a simple front end around it. So let me share my entire screen so we can also see my terminal and some of the code there. Great. So now you can see my entire screen. Cool. So the first thing you want to do to interact with the Sei blockchain is to set up this Seidi. Seidi is a command line tool that you can install, and it offers a variable of functionalities for you to query or to send transaction, and also to do wallet management for you. So the first thing you want to do to install Seidi is to install local dependencies. That includes Golang, Docker, and so on, so on. For the sake of time of this demo, I already included the local dependencies to my laptop, so we can skip this step. Also, for context, you can also find all the materials we cover in this hackathon in the Sei official documentation. The next step to install Seidi is you want to clone the, let me open a new tab here. So you want to clone the Sei chain repo. So you can just search it on Google. do this Sage and every on your local laptop. You can do a quick CD version, correct version. I'm using, and also you can do a CD. Hey, I think my Zoom just crashed. Let me just reshare my screen. Cool. I was talking about you can use the cd -- help to get all available commands. And you can also, for example, if you want to do cd query, and you can also do -- help to get all the query available subcommands in this list. Cool. So you have now you have the cd binary on your laptop, and then you can use it to interact with either your local test chain or a say testnet. So if you go to the resources tab here, you can find a list of available RPC node. Atlantic 2, for context, is our testnet. So here I'm going to use this POC2 RPC node. So you can do a cd status, which basically query the status of the node. And I will do a -- node equivalent to the POC2 RPC node I just copied. And then it will return the information of the node. You can see the node is pretty up to date because the latest block time is just the current time. Cool. So now you have the RPC node, and also you have this cd setup. The next thing we want to do here is to set up a wallet and also to claim some test tokens from the faucet. Great. So if you go to the faucet tab and you need to log in with your Discord. Then you can use either Fin or Compass wallet to, if you haven't created a wallet, you can go to the Google Chrome store to install them, and then connect this wallet and claim some token. So it will say your request has been added to the queue. Normally, it will it needs to wait for a few seconds before all the requests in the backend queue is cleared. So great, I have received my fund. In the Compass wallet, one thing to be noted here, you do want to double check if you are connecting to the right network. So here we're using the testnet. And also one trick you can do if you want to export your wallet to your command line too, you can do this. You can get the seed phrase from your wallet. Just to be noted that you don't want to share this to anyone or anywhere online, because as long as people have this seed phrase, they have full access to your wallet. I'm going to just import here, given this is just my test wallet. I will do a cd keys add Python Compass testnet with recovered flag. So it will ask me to input my seed phrase here. Cool. So I have my wallet address, wallet imported here, and you can see here I have a bunch of C. On command line, you can also use this bank balance query to get the amount of fund you have. Cool. So now I have the wallet setup, and I also have some fund in my wallet. The next thing I'm going to do is to build a very simple contract app, smart contract, in which it will store account starting from 0. And I will send transaction to ask it to increment the account. The first thing I'm going to do here is I will just use the Kaggle to generate this example repo for me. I already have this repo, so I'm just getting into this content repo. And I can show you what does this contract do. So for this Cosmos contract, the first thing you want to check is the Kaggle.toml, in which it defines the dependency that this contract package use. And it also has some of the other metadata. And the contract.rust is the place the core functionality of the code reside. There are 3 core entry point functions you need to define for any Cosmos contract. That includes first this instantiate function that instantiates the state of this contract, and secondly the execute function. Basically, you need to check. When you want to send a transaction to update the state of the contract. This is the entry point that will do the operation for you. And the third critical function here is the query function, which will be used for you to get a state of this contract. Cool. So given we have already have everything we need, all the function implemented in this contract, I'm going to compile it and build an artifact. So the ideal way to do this is to use Docker to run the Rust optimizer library for you to generate a Wasm artifact that is that has a small size, and you can upload this with least amount of gas fee to the any safe blockchain. Normally this will take around 10-15 minutes, so I ran this ahead of time. And after it's done, you can find the .wasm binary in this artifact directory. So the next step we're going to do here is to deploy and then instantiate the smart contract. You can find the exact deployment step here. The first thing you want to do is to store, do a cd transaction wasm store to store this content.wasm to Atlantic 2. Cool. So after the cd store transaction succeed, it will return the code ID under the attributes. So the code ID represent the contract you just uploaded to the blockchain. The next thing you want to do here is to instantiate So I will just use the code ID to instantiate this smart contract. And here, I need to send in an instantiate message. So the format of that needs to be aligned with the instantiate message you define your smart contract. So here you need to define the initial count number. Cool. So I'm going to instantiate this contract. Great. So now you have uploaded and instantiated your smart contract to say testnet, and you can find your contract address here. So you can do a few queries to verify the state of this. The first thing we want to do here is to query wasn't get count. Cool. So you can see here the count is 0, which we just instantiated. And you can also send a transaction to increment the count. Oops. And then we can query it again. Great. So now the count becomes 1. Cool. So now we have successfully deployed our first contract to say testnet. The next thing we're going to do here is to build a simple front end around it. Also for context, you can also find everything covered for this Counter smart contract in our documentation. So to build a front end, you can use our helper repo, which is called Say.js Core and Say.js React. So in this example, I'm going to create a React sample repo, and then we will build a wallet integration and also contract query, contract execution around it. The first thing I'm going to do here is to create this sample repo called my counter frontend, and get into this, and I will install all the dependencies needed. Then let me show you what I have in this counter repo. So the app.tsx represents the homepage in which we insert this say wallet provider component. You can find the details of this component in the Say.js React package. So after the user successfully connect to their wallet, they will be directed to this homepage, which is here. So there are a few important function components imported from the Say.js repo. They are use wallets, use Cosm Wasm client, and use signing Cosm Wasm client. What they do respectively is they generate a Connect wallet object, a Cosm Wasm query client that is used to send query to the blockchain, and this signing client that you can use to sign to promote user to sign a transaction via their contract. Cool. So now I have everything for this simple front end. I'm going to start running it. You can see I can connect my wallet. I think I'm using an old smart contract address, which I defined here. So let me just use the latest one. We just deployed restart this. Cool. So now you can see the count is 1. So you can click this increment and sign a transaction, and it will automatically update the count. Cool. So now you have a simple counter app and also have a simple front end. The next thing we're going to talk about are some of the advanced features, Sei offers. The first topic I want to talk about is the Sei token standard. So in Sei, we recommend people to use Token Factory token instead of other token standards such as the Cosmos 1020 token. There are a few reasons behind that, but basically we build this module for a more flexible and power usage of token transfer and management, and it is much easier for developer to create a token with this module, and because it's used the native token, it takes much less gas cost instead of using a token smart contract. I'm going to do a quick demo on how to use this Token Factory module how to create Denon with CD and how to integrate this Token Factory into your Cosmos contract. The first thing I will show here is I will create Denon with the wallet I just used. Create Denon. So for this one, I'm going to call it Hexon Coin X. And you can see I create this Denon with I created this token with Denon factory / my wallet address / Hexon Coin X. So this is the full Denon of the token I just created. And you can mint a few this Denon. I'm going to mint 100 Hexon Coin X. Oh, here I make the mistake that I need to use the full Denon instead of just the sub Denon here. Great. So now I mint 100 Hexon Coin X Denon. I can just do a bank balance query to my wallet, and great. I have 100 Hexon Coin X Denon token here. And you can also, there are a few other functionality of this this Token Factory module. I'm not going to demo all of them here, but you can try to experiment this by yourself. You can also set the Denon's metadata that will help your front end better understand the what's the display name or the decimal of the Denon. And you can also change admin or burn the token. Cool. The next thing I want to go over here is if you want to integrate this Token Factory token or Token Factory module into your Cosmos Wasm contract, how do you want to do it? So there are a couple of code snippets. that I will go over them one by one. So the first one is this create daemon message that you can attach to your causal wasm function response as a sub message that will be invoked at the end of each block. So here you can see you can use this create daemon say message to generate a subdaemon, and the daemon created will be in the format of factory / created address, which is your contract address here / subdaemon. So to be noted here, you need to use the full name when you mint the daemon, or when you mint the token, instead of just a subdaemon. Because otherwise, the module won't recognize your token daemon correctly. And then after that, you can use this mint token say message to mint certain amount of token. And here we are using this bank message to send minted token to a recipient address. One thing to note here is the daemon here need to be the full name in the format of factory / your creator's address / subdaemon. And the following two examples here show you how to burn a token using the burn token say message, and how to change the owner of the token by using this change admin say message. You can find all the examples here in this say causal wasm package, and there's also another say tester package that includes all the example in the tester contract. The next topic I want to go over here is the say native Oracle module, which Alvin briefly mentioned. So technically, this module supports asset exchange price and also TWAP price that can be used by other modules or contract. Validators must provide asset pricing for the whitelist assets, otherwise it will get stashed. So this Oracle module is essentially as secure as the liveness of the blockchain. And for here, I'm going to show you one city example and one causal wasm example as well. So regarding to the city example, we're just going to do a query here. You can do a city query Oracle actives to get the active token daemon list of the testnet. So you can see here it includes tokens such as Bitcoin, UIS, and the unit of those tokens are how different they are from the same amount of USDC. So to better understand this, you can also query the Oracle exchange rates, which is the current price feed of different daemons. You can see that Bitcoin here, the exchange rate is equivalent to 26,000, which is the real-time price feed of the Bitcoin right now. We also offer the TWAP price, and you can define basically how many seconds you want to look back, and the average price of the look back period. So to query the Oracle price in your causal wasm contract, you just need to use this say query wrapper, and you can create a Courier client and just do a Courier Oracle TWAP or Courier exchange rate to get the Oracle response. Great. Yeah, please let us know if there's any question regarding to the Oracle or the Token Factory module at the end of this presentation. I believe like people may have some question around the modules. The last but not least topic I want to go over is the DEX module. I will go over this module by just going over a spot market contract that is built based on the order book module. So I'm going to do the same thing here. That is clone this Spotlight repo, and then I will walk through the code briefly. Cool. So this is the Spotlight repo that is built on this native order book, and you can use your contract to register a market. This example basically show you how to use the DEX to build a spot exchange. That is, you can swap between two type of tokens, for example. Similar to all other Cosmos and contract, you want to define the instantiate, execute, and query endpoint so that you can interact with this contract correspondingly. However, one thing special about any contract that wants to use the DEX module is you need to define some of the required pseudo endpoint. The pseudo endpoint here are just some special endpoints that will be invoked at the end of each block by the module. So here there are three essential necessary endpoints that are the pseudo message settlement, pseudo message block auto placement, and pseudo message block auto cancellations. How this work under the hood is each time when a user places an order to the DEX module, the DEX module will store the order until the end of block. And at the end of block, the DEX module will ask this smart contract whether the order placement, the order that the user wants to place is valid. So in this process block order placement function, you will do some bookkeeping or some sanity check on whether that user, for example, has enough fund to place this order, and let the DEX module know if it is valid. So the next step the DEX module is going to do is it will start all the matching engine and match all the market order and limit orders there. For any order that is settled in that block, it will inform the smart contract by calling its settlement endpoint. So here, you also want to do a bookkeeping of that settled order so that the information you have for the portfolio you store in this smart contract is up to date and align with the order book in the DEX module. Another thing is this order cancellation. So essentially, this function will be invoked each time when an order is canceled at the end of the block. So please I'm not going to dive too deep into like how each of these functions do the bookkeeping. but please let us know if there's any question that we can elaborate more. So after we are done implementing this Spotlight contract, the next thing we are going to do here is we need to register this contract with the DEX module. And we also need to register the trading pairs and also the trading that includes the tick size and quantity size you want to define for your market. So let me do a quick demo here. I will get into the Spotlight contract, and I also have my Spotlight.watson here. The first thing I'm going to do here is still to store it to the blockchain. And then I will instantiate this contract. Cool. Now I have this contract address. The next thing I'm going to do here is to register this contract with this command. So what this command means is whether your contract how much rent you want to deposit it to this contract, because each time when someone places an order, the contract owner and also the user need to pay additional gas fee for using this DEX module. This is a spam protection mechanism we add in place, and all the collected rent will be redistributed to people who stake. So here I'm going to register contract. After you register the contract and deposit rent, you also need to register your peer so that people can only trade the peer you want them to trade on your exchange. So here I have this register peer.json. Let me just do this. So you can see here, this is the format that includes the contract address and allowable list of peers. The price daemon is USAY, and asset daemon is the Hexon coin I just created. And also I need to define the price tick size and the quantity tick size. Those two means the smallest unit people can use to place an order, the smallest price or quantity people can use to place an order. And now you can register this. After you're done registering the peers to a contract, you can just do a get register peers to confirm it is registered successfully. And at last, you can send a sample order. So here I'm going to send sample order with this is a long order with the price 1.01 I want to pay, and 5 is the quantity of the order. And then for USAY versus this Hexon coin pair, and this is a limit order. So after I send it, you can do a list long book that will show you the existing limit order long book. Great. So yeah, that's basically how you build and deploy a very simple spot exchange DEX contract to the SAY testnet. Regarding this part, you can also find how exactly the DEX module work in the documentation. This is the DEX module documentation. Please just let us know if you have any question. Yeah, I think that's all the demo we are going to do here. So I will pass it back to Alvin. Alvin, you want to talk about
Sure.
the final?
Yeah, happy to wrap it up here with this final slide, right? Essentially, we've gone through why SAY, and we've gone through like how you can actually build on SAY. This last part is really talking about opportunities on the blockchain itself. As we mentioned at the start, we launched mainnet, less than 2 weeks ago. So there's lots of opportunities right now because we're at a very nascent stage of the blockchain. And what this means is, a lot of the different segments in the chain itself, right, whether it's from a DeFi, SocialFi, or GameFi perspective, because it's so new, there is lots of opportunities for you to actually build a successful app, right, and capture a lot of audience right now. So, but the few things we're looking at, which I want to emphasize here, one is, really scalable DEXs, right, that are competing with the likes of the CEXs and exchanges out there. So we do want to look for more innovation, right? Not just in terms of like, going from V3 to V4, but different ways of how we can make it easy for users, whether it's for LP or whether it's for trading itself. We want to see more innovation there. Interactive social apps, as we've seen with latest trends, it seems like a lot of social apps are becoming pretty trendy, and they all have very different formats and modes of interaction. So we do want to see more innovation there as well. Definitely, when we talked about SAY being the L1 for trading, it's not just on DeFi marketplaces, but also on digital assets or NFT marketplaces, or even like real world asset tokenization and how we can enable exchanges for real world assets. So these kind of marketplaces for all digital assets is something that we are also looking out specifically for. And then, of course, other things like liquid staking, which is pretty trendy right now, game economies. And again, we want to see like how different types of game economies can thrive in the Web3 world, right? And we have seen a lot of different models, many of them have failed, some of them have succeeded. We want to see more innovation there as well. So again, lots of opportunities on SAY. Please, talk to us if you have a project idea that you're thinking of. We typically want to give a lot of support to projects that kind of meet two kinds of criteria. One is very strong founding team with prior entrepreneurial experience. Even if your prior experience is actually more in the Web2 world and Web3, we still want to talk to you. The other one is projects where you have a very, very strong and innovative product concept. That's something we're looking out for as well. So yep, talk to us, bring your ideas to SAY. Looking forward to building with you. Thank you so much.
Great. Cool. Thank you, guys. So right now we are open for questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat box or Q&A box. Meanwhile, I go back to Alvin. So Evan has mentioned that SAY has launched their mainnet and got listed on Binance and many biggest exchanges. Congratulations, guys. And this is definitely the right timing to deploy on SAY. So no matter if you're a hacker, you join our hackathon to learn more about SAY, or you have your own project, you want to learn more about how to do future stuff with SAY. You're welcome to join us at this hackathon or our incubator batch. So feel free to contact us about any questions. you have regarding say. And so meanwhile, I do have some questions like regarding today's content. Thank you, Sison and Evan, for the content. Amazing. And I myself learned a lot. So you're basically covering everything, like your current status, ecosystem, what you're looking for, and some basic module for the hackathons, the token factory, Oracle, DAX module. So I do have one question, like if the hackers want to build on the testnet, they need to go to the token factory to claim tokens first, right?
Yeah, they can use our testnet faucet to claim some UC test token.
Got it. Can you bring back that slides? Like I saw two places. One is under Kaswasam or something like under your folder SRC. The other one, but they are the same, right? Two locations, but they are the same.
Yeah, so essentially if you want to get some test tokens, you can just go to this say testnet website and to claim some token from the faucet.
Perfect. Good. That's the easiest way. And for other hackers, please note that this is very important workshop. So definitely watch the recordings. And if you are watching the recording right now, congratulations, because you have completed all our workshops for the hackathon. You are halfway there already. And for the other half, that is mainly on you and your teammates. So we are very looking forward to your amazing idea and your project. Cool. So meanwhile, we are still open for questions for the live audience. So if you have any questions, feel free to type it here. And here, I'd like to introduce more about this hackathon. So we have several highlights. First one is that our total token prize pool is more than $200,000. So it is pretty big already. And we have 3 tracks: GameFi, SocialFi, and AI plus Web3. So no matter what, you can find a perfect fit for your team. And the next one is that we have Forbes and Fortune. So these medium gonna cover the hackathon from the beginning to the end. So it is very good for PR and branding. And lastly, so not only One Piece Labs team and SACE team, but also we have a lot of judges from enterprises, which is very impressive. Like we have Google, Visa, Apple, IBM, Microsoft, Salesforce, Hitachi, Ericsson, Mercedes-Benz, Walmart, Walt Disney. Mainly, most of the well-known enterprises send their web release to be judges for this hackathon. So this is also a great timing opportunity to network with safe people, with more hackers, and with more experts from this industry. Okay, so we have a question here. So tokens is a big part of what we are doing, as we are doing the data bank based on the personal data. Anyhow, with registering the token. Yeah, I'll leave the question for you guys.
Sorry, I don't think I caught the. Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, you can see that from the Q&A box. So it said the tokens is a big part of what they are doing right now, and they are doing the data bank based on the personal data. So any help with registering the token?
Sison, you want to take that?
Yeah, can you specify what do you mean by registering the token here? Oh, you are saying you want to create a token factory with this, right? Okay. Yeah, you can let me send you a command, but you can also just follow this doc. It will guide you step by step how to create a daemon. Let me just send a link to the yeah, I sent you a link, and let me also send you the comment you should use. Or you can also create this daemon with your smart contract. Let me also send you the link there as well. Cool.
Great. So you can see Sison has already sent out other links, so feel free to check it out. And meanwhile, I talked with your team before, Victoria, and you guys. So I'm very looking forward to your participation in this hackathon. So I believe you guys will do a great job. Cool. Great. Do we have any other questions? Yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah, feel free to join us online. Yeah. So this hackathon gonna be hybrid. So on-site in Santa Clara in Silicon Valley, California, US. And online you can join us from everywhere. So right now we have about 400 people registered. I guess maybe 50 to 60 will be on site. So all the rest, I would say majority will be online. Yeah. So don't worry about it. Feel free to join us online. And we have a lot of online judges too. Cool, great. I think there's no questions from the audience right now. And for all the audience who is watching the recording, if you have any questions, feel free to send an email to us, and we will gather questions to Say's team. So this is my email. Feel free to send it to my email. Any questions? I wish I could answer all the tech questions. Yeah. Great. Yeah, that's fine. So you can do hybrid in your team too. So one person joining on site and all the rest can join online. Yeah. Great. Okay, I think that is pretty much it for today. Thank you, Elwin. Thank you, Sison, for today's workshop. Very helpful. Very helpful. And I'm looking
Thanks for
forward-
inviting us.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys during the hackathon. And for all the builders there, definitely pay your attention to Say. This is definitely one of the best chains right now. And forget about those shady chains, even though some of them raise a lot of money, but Say is a real serious one. So they care about the ecosystem, they care about the community, they care about the developers. This is the right chain to go. Okay, cool. So I will see you guys during the hackathon. And congratulations, this is our last workshop. So everything is done. The next step is just joining the hackathon and win your prizes. Okay, great. Okay, thank you everyone. So have a great day, and we will see you soon.
Great. We'll see you guys in Santa Clara.
Yeah, see you. Bye-bye.
You guys.